Hey, good Tuesday morning, Mid-Michigan. Thanks for waking up with the both of us. What a busy and hectic Monday it was from a news standpoint, from a weather standpoint.
And from a weather standpoint, we'll call you yesterday, round one.
Okay.
We got a break last night, but round two
Coming back?
is coming back in. Now, the good news is
Lansing and East Lansing police will hold a press conference later this morning to update the investigation into a pair of shootings that left 2 people dead Monday. The suspect police believe is responsible for the shootings is in police custody this morning after a lengthy standoff at the scene of the second homicide. The entire incident started just after 11 a.m. when police say a man walked into the Rite Aid in the Frandor Shopping Center and shot a 35-year-old employee. While police were investigating, they learned of a second shooting about a mile north on the 1800 block of Coolidge Road in East Lansing. Authorities went into that area initially not knowing the 2 were connected. They soon discovered the suspected shooter still in a home there when they arrived. Police started negotiations with the suspect, and during that time, many local schools and businesses were put on lockdown. After nearly 4 hours, the suspect left the home and was arrested. During the standoff, police found the second victim, a man in his 30s who had been shot multiple times. He was pronounced dead later at Sparrow Hospital. Be sure to follow 6 News both on air and online. We, of course, will be at the press conference this morning, and we'll stream it live on our website, WLNS.com. Switching gears, today legislative Democrats and Michigan workers will address efforts to raise the minimum wage. Just last month, the coalition group started gathering signatures to increase minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. But a bill sponsored by Senate Republican leader Randy Richardville would halt their efforts. Today, Democrats are expressing their concerns. Francesca Amaker joining us now in studio to tell us more. Francesca. Thank you, Francesca. Speaking of money, a new report out says close to 8 in 10 Americans carry less than $50 of cash on them on a daily basis. So that got us wondering in our 6 This Morning daily poll, do you feel comfortable carrying cash, or maybe you just stick to debit and credit cards? We'll feature updated results. We'll also talk about the general feeling of our posters. As always, to vote and comment and participate, head to our website and click on the 6 This Morning tab at the top of the page. Lawmakers will keep busy today as they'll hear testimony over surveillance devices recently acquired by law enforcement agencies. The devices, called Hailstorm and Stingray, give authorities the ability to receive and track data from hundreds of civilian phones. The House Oversight Committee hearing will hear from technology and law experts about the devices being used, as well as the legal rights surrounding their use. Meantime, a former state senator wants to see the bidding on high-speed train services get back on track. The Michigan Department of Transportation is ready to launch a train service between Chicago and Detroit, with trains moving at 110 miles per hour. But the state doesn't own the extra trains to provide the service, and Amtrak doesn't have enough equipment. The director of MDOT opened a bidding process, but only one company from Spain replied. That bid is currently being evaluated by the state. The Blackman Township Board of Trustees chose one of 9 candidates to fill the spot left by Paula Klingerman's resignation. This is according to our media partners at the Jackson Citizen Patriot. 41-year-old Brandon Williams, a police lieutenant from Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety, is also a graduate from the FBI. Williams was unanimously selected by the current trustees during their meeting Monday night. This, of course, follows the pay raise controversy there. He has served on the Blackman Township Planning Commission for the last 9 years. And finally, some of those hit hardest by the Detroit bankruptcy will now decide if the agreement to pay for pensions is high enough. Ballots will be in the hands of roughly 30,000 retirees and city employees shortly who qualify for pensions. The city proposed cutting pensions by 4.5%. If the deal is rejected, hundreds of millions of dollars from foundations and philanthropists would vanish. Deeper pension cuts would also become inevitable.
in fact, high temperatures will be in the 50s the rest of the week, maybe low 60s in spots, but some pretty chilly stuff's coming up, and more rain. Inch and a half of rain yesterday, and more is on the way.
Well, we knew this to be the stormy season, and how, I guess, tough winter was, you can't say that we could have just had it go away.
April showers are bringing the Mayflowers. The Mayflowers, I guess we'll expect pilgrims here in a couple weeks.
We'll be on the lookout. Yeah. I'll keep you updated for when they arrive.
Yeah, because you're from that area, right?
I am from that area.
Okay.
And funny that you mentioned it. Here's a fun fact. They think they found wreckage from the Santa Maria.
Really?
To throw a historical reference out there from you.
How about that?
There
Learn
you
something
go.
new every day.
That's the plan. That's our motto. Coming up, the latest on the efforts to rescue the more than 200 kidnapped girls from their schools in Nigeria, including a proposal by the terrorist group claiming to hold them hostage. Welcome back. In international news, the terrorist group responsible for the kidnapping of nearly 300 schoolgirls in Nigeria is ready to negotiate their release. In a video released by Boko Haram, the group demands the Nigerian government free some of their imprisoned fighters. Susan McGinnis picks up the story from Washington. Nigerian authorities have been showing the new video to the desperate parents of the missing girls to see if they can identify their daughters. Only about 100 of the nearly 300 missing girls are seen in the video, possibly a sign they've been broken up into smaller groups. Meantime, a new report shows Iran's purchases for banned nuclear and missile programs is on the decline. Despite the good news, UN experts aren't sure if the slowdown is because of a different political climate under the Iranian president, or if the country is using other ways to get nuclear material. The report comes as Iran meets with the 6 world powers in Vienna. Officials are working to reach an agreement to limit Iran's ability to make nuclear weapons. Keep it here. Jake is back after the break. He has more details on another stormy forecast, and coming up later in morning sports, the Spartan baseball team looks to avoid the sweep against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And later, the second case of the deadly MERS virus is confirmed in the U.S. We'll have all those details and more in your HealthCast. It's 4:44. Thanks for starting your Tuesday with 6 this morning. In morning sports, the Tigers work the comeback magic against the Baltimore Orioles. Plus, the Lions sign a group of free agents, including a possible backup to Matthew Stafford. Brett Human touches down with the highlights, details, and more.
Have a pleasant, peaceful day.
And we'll see Jake back in just a bit with more on your day's forecast. But first, coming up in your HealthCast, a local cancer center offers free skin cancer screenings. We'll tell you everything you need to know after the break. Sparrow Cancer Center is teaming up with the American Cancer Society to offer free skin cancer screenings today. According to the American Cancer Society, more than 1 million people will be diagnosed with the deadly cancer. Melanoma, the most serious form of skin cancer, claims one life every half hour. The screenings today are from 5 until 7 p.m. at the Sparrow Cancer Center. Appointments are required, but you can schedule one by calling the number on your screen, 517-364-2689. Federal health officials have confirmed a second case of the deadly Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, and it's here in the U.S. A healthcare worker from Saudi Arabia traveled to Florida in early May. He's now being treated in an Orlando hospital for the flu-like symptoms, but is said to be in good condition. The first patient was confirmed in Indiana earlier this month, and is also doing well, thankfully.
Of course, we'll keep an eye on it all day long.
Speaking of movies, Godzilla would even hate this weather, and that's the big one coming out.
Godzilla may come eat me if I don't change it. I don't know.
He walks outside. No, I don't like this. I'm going. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Evan Pincinall. Thanks for waking up with us. And if you were joining us just 2 moments ago, I wanted to let you finish your thought there.
Thank you, Evan.
Somehow something cut you off. What was that? Was that me? Was that Jay? Oh, no, it was the commercial break that did it.
I don't tend to pay attention much to the clock rundown
It's
or
okay.
a rap sign.
It can, with the new lights we got in here, it's just hard to see. 2 things you need to pay attention to and see, though, today, Jake Dunn. Storms, they're back again.
Yeah. Many questions remain this morning revolving around 2 homicides on Monday, one in Lansing, the other in East Lansing, and police say they're connected.
That's right. We hope to have some of those questions answered later this morning after a press conference. Both police departments will be making statements at 11 a.m. to update this investigation. A quick recap, officials say a man walked into the Rite Aid in Frandor Monday morning. He shot and killed an employee before then shooting another man inside a home on Coolidge Road a mile away not long after. Police say that suspect is in custody. And of course, 6 News will have a crew at the press conference today. We'll also be bringing you the latest online at WLNS.com.
In national news, a shooting in New Hampshire has left a community in mourning. One of their police officers was shot and killed while responding to a domestic call.
The story doesn't end there. Shortly after, the house burst into flames and a massive explosion then leveled the house. 48-year-old Brentwood police officer Stephen Arkell entered the home in question when he was shot. Police say a second officer tried to enter the home but was driven off by gunfire. Once this all happened, a fire started in the house which led to the explosion. Authorities believe the suspected gunman, 47-year-old Michael Nolan, died as a result of the fire. A third person was taken to the hospital. Their condition is not known at this time. Back here in mid-Michigan, animal advocates are coming to the Capitol today. Their goal, to talk about current legislation aimed at improving the care of animals. Among the legislation currently circulating, a bill known as Grant's Bill. The measure would end the use of gas chambers in shelters. The entire effort is part of the ASPCA's Michigan Humane Lobby Day, which works to protect animals of all kinds. And it's a big day for more than 200 mid-Michigan athletes. Today, Olivet High School will host Special Olympics Field Day.
That's right, and organizers are...
Just hope the weather finds a pocket, or maybe they've got some tents set up to give the kids a chance there.
Yeah.
Speaking of things to pay attention to and things to enjoy, Final Five for the top of the town. And you have a say in who wins.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
do,
But today is
it?
the last day.
That's right,
to
deadline
do it.
day,
It,
yeah.
of course, is presented by the Lansing City Pulse, MLive Lansing, and WLNS.
You can vote in many different categories: favorite burger, movie theater, TV personality, place to go to see theater.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. So we've made it really, really easy to vote. All you have to do.
Here comes the rain again.
Yep.
Falling on our head like a bad memory. Falling on my head. I wish I had a new emoticon so I could change it.
That's very close to the actual lyric.
Very close.
Very
Any
close.
Linux.
That was the original, and then they decided to change it at the last minute.
This is
Falling on my head like a new emoticon.
Emoticon.
You're like, no, I don't think that sounds right.
What's an emoticon?
Well,
this is 25 years ago.
They're doing quite well now
Yes.
for inventing that term.
Told you so.
Yeah.
Told you so. From the Eurythmics, we go to Julia Roberts, because those two are often connected.
Pretty woman
Well, there you
walking
go.
down the street.
She is, and she's in a new HBO drama. We'll preview The Normal Heart and why she wanted to be involved. We're talking dollars and cents in our 6 This Morning daily poll today, specifically if carrying extra dollars makes more sense these days. A recent economic report shows about 8 in 10 Americans carry less than $50 on them. So we want to know, do you keep cash with you or maybe just use debit and credit all the time? Taking a look at the poll results, 60% say cash, 40% say card, and most of your responses online generally consisted of never carry any cash with me or just a couple of bucks. So it seems this report about money was right on the money this time. You can join the discussion too by heading to our website, clicking on the 6 This Morning logo at the top of the page. Still ahead, Hall of Fame rocker Ozzy Osbourne didn't need a crazy train to take him to the Music Cares Awards. There you go, Jake, a Tuesday reference. Find out why he was honored and more. It is 5:20. Thanks for starting your Tuesday with 6 This Morning. Ozzy Osbourne receives a big award, and Julia Roberts co-stars in a new cable movie generating a lot of buzz. Suzanne Marquez has the scoop in your Eye on Entertainment. Coming up is high-speed rail headed to Michigan. We'll tell you what one former senator is asking of lawmakers when we get back.
That story and much more.
Just ahead on 6 News this morning, minimum wage fight. State Democrats are ready to respond to legislation aimed at changing Michigan's minimum wage, but not as much as they'd like. But first, ongoing investigations. The latest on a pair of homicides in Lansing and East Lansing.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Evan Pincinel. Thanks for waking up with us. It certainly was a busy Monday news-wise and weather-wise.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to the forecast today, it's going to continue to stay busy.
Yeah, definitely going to want to keep that umbrella, rain boots, rain gear handy today.
And Jake Dunn, you also might have to add in a coat to keep you warm. Lansing and East Lansing police will hold a press conference later this morning to update the investigation into a pair of shootings that left 2 men dead on Monday.
Yeah, and the man.
Today, legislative Democrats and Michigan workers will address efforts to raise the minimum wage. Just last month, a coalition group started gathering signatures to increase minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. And some of those hit hardest by the Detroit bankruptcy will now decide if the agreement to pay for pensions is enough. Ballots will be in the hands of roughly 30,000 retirees and city employees shortly who qualify for the pensions. The city proposed cutting pensions by 4.5%. If the deal is rejected, hundreds of millions of dollars from foundations and philanthropists would vanish. Deeper pension cuts would also become inevitable. And the cold temps look to be with us too.
Yeah, for several days. We'll start to warm up this weekend, but after today, we're below normal for another 5 days.
Wow. Okay.
I should say colder temps, not cold.
Yeah, it's
because
definitely
Yeah.
not cold.
we were rooting for the 50s
Right.
just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
They're
Yeah,
still
highs in the
doing okay.
50s, that's too chilly. 60s, that's not too crazy
Yeah.
for me, but 50s like Thursday, ugh.
That is for this time of year. Coming up, the latest on the efforts to rescue more than 200 kidnapped girls from their schools in Nigeria, including a proposal by the terrorist group claiming to hold them hostage.
The release.
In a video released by Boko Haram, the group demands the Nigerian government free some of their imprisoned fighters. Susan McGinnis picks up that story from Washington. Nigerian authorities have been showing the new video to the desperate parents of the missing girls to see if they can identify their daughters. Only about 100 of the nearly 300 missing girls are seen in the video, possibly a sign they've been broken into smaller groups. Keep it here. Jake is back after the break. He has more on your forecast. And then in morning sports, the Spartan baseball team looks to avoid the sweep against the Cornhuskers.
And later.
In morning sports, the Tigers work the comeback magic against the Baltimore Orioles. Plus, the Lions sign a group of free agents, including a possible backup to Matthew Stafford. Fred Human touches down with the highlights, details, and more. And Jake will have more on your day's stormy forecast when we get back, and later in your HealthCast. A local cancer center offers free skin cancer screenings today. We'll tell you everything you need to know after the break. Welcome back, 6 o'clock on the dot on this Tuesday. We've had a lot of good suggestions online about what song would fit the weather today. How about the same old song?
Yeah, same old story, same old song and dance,
Right?
my friend. Yeah.
Starting with warmer temperatures,
Warm,
but then the rain.
Steamy.
Yeah.
Here comes the rain again.
comes the rain
yeah,
again, the
Perhaps
cold.
a few storms, then.
Many questions remain this morning revolving around two homicides Monday, one in Lansing, the other in East Lansing, and police say they're connected.
We hope to have some of those questions answered later this morning. Both police departments are holding joint press conferences at 11 a.m. to update this investigation. Officials say, to recap, a man walked into the Rite Aid in Frandor Monday morning and shot and killed an employee there before then shooting another man inside a home on Coolidge Road a mile away not long after. Police say they have the suspect in custody. 6 News will, of course, be at the press conference today. We will bring you the latest, both on air and online at WLNS.com.
In national news, a shooting in New Hampshire has left a community in mourning. One of their police officers was shot and killed while responding to a domestic call.
But the story, it doesn't end there. Shortly after, the house burst into flames and a massive explosion leveled the house. 48-year-old Brentwood police officer Stephen Arkell entered the home in question when he was shot. A second officer tried to enter the home but was driven off by gunfire. Once this all happened, a fire started in the house, which then led to the explosion. Authorities believe the suspected gunman, 47-year-old Michael Nolan, died as a result of the fire. Back here in mid-Michigan, animal advocates are coming to the Capitol today. Their goal, to talk about current legislation aimed at improving the care of animals. Among the legislation currently circulating, a bill known as Grant's Bill. The measure would end the use of gas chambers in shelters. The entire effort is part of the ASPCA Michigan Humane Lobby Day, which works to protect animals of all kinds. And it's a big day for more than 200 mid-Michigan athletes. Today, Olivet High School will host Special Olympics Field Day.
That's right, and organizers are hoping that you will join in on all the fun. Francesca Amaker joining us in studio. And Francesca, I hear they're looking for volunteers.
The best of the best in mid-Michigan, down to the final 5. You have a say in who wins.
That's right. We are talking, of course, about the Top of the Town Awards presented by the Lansing City Pulse, MLive Lansing, and WLNS.
You can vote in many different categories. Best burger, best coffee, best movie theater.
Best florist, lots of them.
Whole bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, today is the very last day to vote, so it doesn't sound like the sun will come out tomorrow.
No, I wouldn't
Tuesday.
bet my bottom dollar on that one. Not that I have a bottom dollar because I work here. But.
Well, you know what? How about this for a song that we all grew up with and love? If we don't like the weather here, why don't we head down to Sesame Street?
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go. And the reason we say that is because we have some very special guests from Sesame Street joining us in just a bit. They might even be helping you out, Mr. Dunn.
Ooh.
You don't say.
I do say.
Okay.
I'm just getting a craving for
brighten up-
cookies all of a sudden. I don't know why.
Cookie
I'm
Monster.
not sure.
You eat cookies every day.
Well, that's true. All right, 6:08. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Okay, Mid-Michigan, who wants to head to Sesame Street? I do. How about you guys? Cookie Monster, Elmo are here with me this morning talking about how they're bringing Sesame Street to us, guys. If you behave over there for a second, I've got a surprise for the both of you, only if you share, Cookie Monster. But first, I want to talk to our spokesman for this wonderful performance, Miss Kaylee Schuler. Kaylee, this is so exciting. Everyone knows Sesame Street. We all grew up with it. We all love it. How pumped are you guys to be here?
We are so excited to be here. They are so excited to share music with everybody here, and yeah, we're totally excited.
And let me switch hands so I don't cut you off. The performance tomorrow at the Wharton Center, times and what we can expect, because this is an event the whole family wants to come out and be a part of.
Sure, we're at the Wharton at 10:30 and 6:30, and you can expect to have a great time. There's audience participation, special effects, and there's even the chance to meet your favorite Sesame Street characters up close and personal.
Kind of like we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Now, if we were to play like a game of charades, because I don't want to use, their voices. I don't want them to lose them before the big performance.
Yes.
Let's say, give me a I want to be on TV gesture. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, you guys.
That is a good one. Good job, guys.
Ready to give them an A+ for that?
Yes, A+.
A+ for that. Okay, how about I know how to make kids laugh gesture? Can I join in? If I were to join in on that, you just got to kind of do the shakes. And wait a second, I think with all that shaking, I found something. Guess what these are?
Cookie, what is that? You can smell him. He's getting so excited.
You know what, Cookie Monster, you've earned it. You've earned it. There you go. Hey, you better share with Elmo. Elmo, tell him to share with you. Sharing is caring. We want to teach our kids right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. We'll be back with our friends from Sesame Street in a little bit. In fact, I hope, Kaylee, they know how to do the forecast.
I think they do. Do you guys want to help with the weather?
That's the plan when we get back.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Siobhan Klepper.
And I'm Evan Pincinall. Thanks for waking up with us. We've got plenty of news to talk about, plenty of weather to talk about, some guests, some surprise guests to welcome in from Sesame Street.
Yes, you know what you've taught me, Evan, because you just interviewed him a little bit ago.
All right, what did you learn?
Embrace the cookie.
Embrace the cookie.
Embrace the cookie. And you know what? We have no choice but to embrace some of the weather that we're going to be experiencing today and that we've been seeing.
I wish we could have the Sesame Street attitude about rainy weather, Jake Dunn. Lansing and East Lansing police will hold a press conference later this morning to update the investigation into the pair of shootings that left 2 men dead Monday.
Yeah.
Today, legislative Democrats and Michigan workers will address efforts to raise the minimum wage. Just last month, a coalition group started gathering signatures to increase the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour.
Yep.
All right, thank you for that information, Francesca. Speaking of money, a new report out says close to 8 in 10 Americans carry fewer than $50 on them on a daily basis. So that got us wondering in our 6 This Morning daily poll if you feel comfortable carrying cash, or maybe you just stick to your debit and credit cards. We'll feature updated results at the end of the show. And to vote before that time, head to our website and click on the 6 This Morning tab at the top of the page. Meantime, a former state senator wants to see the bidding on high-speed train services get back on track. The Michigan Department of Transportation is ready to launch a train service between Chicago and Detroit, with trains moving at 110 miles an hour. But the state doesn't own the extra trains to provide the service, and Amtrak doesn't have enough equipment. MDOT officials opened a bidding process, but only one company from Spain replied. That bid is currently being evaluated by the state.
Maybe those guys can help out. I know they've got more
think they
pull than
should.
I do.
Well,
I
Cookie
mean,
Monster, he just, he was saying, just smile.
Just
That's
smile.
right.
Just smile. That's what he kept doing. Just smile, What can you do?
We've got 2 new assistants.
I know.
I'd love to see those guys here every morning.
I would too. I think that would brighten every day, especially those winter days when it was like snow and
Yeah.
cold and ugh.
Well, and Cookie Monster would just bring some cookies with him naturally.
We've got a
so I'm
plan.
all for that.
We've got a plan. Nice work, you 3 over there.
I do what I can.
Top notch. Coming up, the latest on the situation in Nigeria. We'll have more on the video released by the terrorist group, claiming they're ready for an exchange with the kidnapped girls. Keep it right here. Jake is back after the break with more in your forecast.
And later.
Coming up next in your HealthCast, a local cancer center will offer free skin cancer screenings today. We'll tell you everything you need to know, and then welcome back our friends from Sesame Street.
And before we head out the door, here's some of today's top stories. Many questions remain this morning revolving around 2 homicides on Monday, one in Lansing, the other in East Lansing, and police say they're connected.
That's right. We hope to have some of those questions answered later this morning. Both police departments are holding a joint press conference at 11 a.m. to update the investigation. Officials say a man walked into the Rite Aid in Frandor Monday morning and shot and killed an employee before shooting another man inside a home on Coolidge Road a mile away. Police say they do have the suspect in custody, and 6 News will have a crew at the press conference bringing you the latest both on air and online at WLNS.com. And in our 6 This Morning daily poll, we want to know if you keep cash on you or if you use debit or credit card. Let's take a look at the results. 52% say cash, 48% say credit card, but no matter what you use, you can easily buy some cookies.
Oh, boy.
Hey, look who's back, everybody.
Check them out.
Our friends from Sesame Street, Cookie Monster and Elmo, Francesca and Siobhan. You already did weather with Jake.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bam.
This was fun. Thanks for waking up early, and I don't know what a monster schedule is.
Well, it's busy tomorrow. It's busy tomorrow because
Yeah.
both of these guys are a part of the Sesame Street show at the Wharton Center. 2 shows going on tomorrow. What are the times again, you guys? 10:30 and 6:30. We'll have all the information posted online.
For adults and kids, right?
Oh, of course. Hello.
Better be. When adults can be like kids.
Yeah.
All right, so what are some quick dance moves before we go? Okay, we got to
This one?
get the Sesame Street dance moves.
Okay, one more.
Back to Sesame Street.
Oh, hey.
We're going to raise the roof here on 6 This Morning. We're always on and always free at WLNS.com. Thank you, Cookie Monster. Thank you, Elmo. Happy Tuesday.